Okay, I was asked by some young followers to please redo my Daisy 25 video on just basic questions and just focus on two basic concerns. The other video had some mistakes, and so I learned a lot because I'm a 880 fanatic. I don't mind learning more about the 25. So, all right, so let's get right to it. And okay, so we're going to talk about the shot tube. There's the shot tube and an air tube, which a Red Ryder has too. It's a metal straw inside. Now, what separates the 25 from the Red Ryder, and the 25 has many advantages over the Ryder, is the shot tube here. Okay, but what's happening, people are getting frustrated, and you don't know what you don't know. They are double shooting, meaning they're getting two BBs in their barrel, and they're shooting two shots, which destroys a hunt, destroys even a decent group, a decent string if you're target shooting or even shooting cans. I can destroy that. Okay, so what's happening when they load up the BBs in there, okay, so 25 users, you know how to do that, is that they put it in, and this is usually standing straight up. The gun's usually on its butt, standing straight up. And what's happening is they shoot, and two BBs come out, and then that's, well, a wasted shot. So what you do is, when you reestablish your shot tube, on a towel like this, if you're in the field, you can just drop it on the ground. Perfect handgun safety here is not obviously doing it like this. The gun's not cocked, but it would just be like that. As you can see, it does that every time. I rarely ever have loaded this shot tube, put it back in, and it did not do that. It's most of the time it's going to do that, and because the gun's standing straight up, if you do not remember to do this, and especially if it's some kind of a hunting shot or competition with your buddy, you're going to have a run shot because you're going to fire two. So when you reestablish your shot tube, just please remember to tip it down. You can capture the BB if you want to, or just let it fall on the ground. Okay, and then you cock it or work your pump. Now, one older commenter did make a very interesting comment that Daisy used to say to go ahead and work your pump before you put your shot tube in there, but for safety reasons, they don't do it anymore. I can't believe they ever said to do that, because it's not an 880. It's not going to permanently damage your hand. Like if you did this with an 880 and shot yourself, you'd be permanently damaged, definitely. But this is, these aren't toys. It does aggravate me when people say they're toys. The Red Riders and the 25s can shoot through a water-filled pop can at 20 yards, and it could damage your hand. It definitely, you don't want that. So please don't cock your gun before you reload your shot tube. And Daisy no longer says to do that. Please hear that. They don't want you to doing that. They don't want you doing it at all. Okay, so that's how you handle that. And now the shot tube's in there, the BB's out of the way, so now you work your pump and you'll fire just one shot. Okay, so now let's get to the other issue, which is the sights. I ruffled some feathers with that, so let's go ahead and talk about that. A slight zoom. Okay, now there is a screw right here, and people are actually warping these sights because they're not loosening that screw. There's a Phillips screw there. You need to loosen that when you get your gun, regardless if you choose your notch. So some people like the notch. Okay, hey, if you like the notch better than the peep sight, that's fine. There are people who drill out the peep sight, but I'm using the peep sight as is. I have made the statement that the Daisy 1910 is the only one that has truly adjustable sights for windage and elevation. This has some windage, but for this model, I don't think it's enough. It needed more windage side to side. All right, but anyway, the sights get a lot of complaints, and then I ruffled some feathers because some people really like the notch sight for whatever, that's fine if that's your preference, if you don't like the peep sight. But just please remember, this isn't like the Crossman. The Crossman has a great design for their M4. That's for a very close range, quick target acquisition, and then for a little more accuracy, 15-20 yards is what I bought the M4 to use it for, and I think it's good at 15 to 20 yards. It's pretty effective actually. But so then that would be 15 to 20. This could be like 10 to 12 if you want really quick target acquisition. But anyway, so Daisy doesn't use sights like that, and you just have to remember to please, up here, let me zoom back in there again. Just please use your screwdriver right there to loosen that, whether you go with the notch or the peep sight. Just please make sure to get to that first before you try flipping that up or down.